If it was against the rules to have like a tiny bit of shit in your pants, nobody would be employed. Nobody would be employed.
I used to show up like 15 minutes early to everything. And then I'd just be sitting there waiting until I moved to New York. Then I started just showing up on time. Partly because you just get made late.
I used to think that was just a waste of time, but I'd be late to everything. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like early.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I just do stuff like while waiting.
Pretty cool. You just fill your time with other stuff. I get that.
Dude,
That's like the advice to your brother, like that bit you have, where you're like, dude, I just figured out if you write down what you need at the grocery store, you'll remember it.
Yeah.
I just realized when you got downtime and you're like feeling like you're wasting your time, just do stuff.
You can just do stuff during it. Did you know that?
Early to something? Just like do something.
Yeah, just do a thing during it, dude.
Just think in your head about things you gotta think.
That's how I get all my stuff done.
I actually remember giving that advice before in grad school. And I think about it all the time. I'm like, that's so stupid that I thought that was useful to tell somebody. And also, the way I was talking about it was actually counterproductive, I think. Because it was like grad school where everyone is thinking all the time too much and not taking breaks. And I was in that mindset.
Yeah.
And like, I think there was another student that was stressed out. And I was like, well, you know, when you're in the grocery line, just like think about the experiments you want to run.
Oh my God. Just have it consume your life.
Yeah.
Your life will be so much easier if it's consumed by grad school.
Use every moment you have.
If you don't have a single moment to yourself, then you'll do great. It's fine.
Yeah.
And in your head, that was like wise. You're like imparting wisdom.
Because that's what I did at the time. And I was not healthy.
Yeah. And Brittany's like throwing up and passing out at every lab, being like, don't take me to the hospital. I won't be able to think about it.
I still do the groceries one.
Yeah.
Like I would have done it last week to this younger person that I like started working with.
Well, how young we talking? 20 something?
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was like I DoorDash. Like if I'm home, if I'm not like it's like a weekend or whatever, like I DoorDash twice a day. Like I'll DoorDash lunch and DoorDash.
Oh no,
that's crazy.
I only do that when I'm sick or really depressed.
Yeah, right. And I was like, dude, what do you like? You need to start saving money. And I'm like, mate. And then I basically read him out my grocery list. I was like, mate, just
check this one out. Oh, this is a good one.
Two packs of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, pack of 6 mini cucumbers, and a bag of carrots, and that's your week. That's 5 nights prep dinner.
Yeah.
He was just looking at me.
Was his mind blown?
No, he was just like...
He was just waiting for you to be done talking.
I think like halfway through, he was like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're like, first you put the oven on 375, and he's like, I don't really need to hear this part of it.
Well, he was like, I can't cook. I'm like, you don't need to know how to cook.
It's true.
No.
But the stupid, and this is why I used to do that joke. It's like the stupidest thing about it is like 3 years ago, I would DoorDash.
Yeah.
Like I'd be hungover 3 or 4 days a week, DoorDashing lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like, who the hell am I to give advice?
You figured it out, and you're looking at you a few years ago in this kid.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know if I told you this before, but I had a roommate one time. It was in New Zealand. She was way younger than me. It wasn't like we knew each other. I just moved into some place, and she was like 20 or 21 or something. She was really young. She was probably younger than that, and she would come out. We had nothing to talk about because we were too different in age. And then
how old were you at the time?
I was probably 28 or 29.
Gotcha.
I feel like 20 is very...
Gotcha. Yeah,
very different.
You guys had the same age gap that you and I have, by the way.
Yeah, but I feel like in that time, it's too much.
That's true, yeah. I guess if I had to talk to a 21 or like a 20-year-old right now.
I don't think if it were you in her position, you would have been doing this. I would come out and we didn't really have anything to talk about. So it was always small talk. So she'd be like, how are you? And I'd be like, oh, I'm really tired. And then she'd be like, you should sleep more. Like she would for real tell me to sleep and tell me to drink water. when I'm like out there, I'm like getting a water. I'm like, I'm thirsty. I'm like, she's like, you should drink that water.
And you're like, I fucking know.
Yeah, and she'd
While
be all
you're
proud
getting
of
it, or it's
herself.
like in your hand.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
she's like proud that she like knows how to give advice to me.
Well,
I mean, she is right.
it's probably because
right,
she literally figured it out 2 weeks before that. And she's like,
think so.
I just heard of this new thing. It's called getting sleep and drinking water.
That's my whole thing. I'm just like, oh, I've discovered something. And it was only because I discovered it after, like, you know, figuring out I had an alcohol problem and I needed to fix it. So then I was just catching up.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns.
Welcome to Worthless
Podcast
Clowns.
about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Brittany Cardwell on Instagram.
And I'm Allie O'Neill. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Allie O'Neill. Follow the pod on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Come to Brittany's special
Come to
taping.
my special, December 3rd, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the Gutter in Williamsburg.
Hell yeah.
Get your tickets online.
Get those tickets. Get those
I'm getting
tickies,
energy
guys.
now that we're talking about this
Yeah,
special.
And we have a special stupid guest today. He's a very, very good friend of the pod. He is a content creator. Look him up, Human Tabasco. And also you could find his special on YouTube. It's his stand-up special. It's called Not Killing It. Look it up. Everybody give it up for James Coburn.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Thanks.
What's up, James?
Too much. Just came here with Allie.
Yeah.
Yes, we live together also.
Man, I meant to think of stories about you on the way here. Because I've known you since I moved here, pretty much.
Like,
we must have a bunch of dumb stories together.
yeah.
But I forgot to do it. I'm sorry.
I have some dumb stories
I'll
about
think
James.
of something during this hour, I bet.
Yeah, you have many.
Oh, what do you got?
There was one time.
Man, I'm glad you've been saving them up for this. I haven't heard any of these.
I think you'll remember this. Remember when we were like setting up our apartment? We had just moved in together, and I'm like pretty handy. I'm good at like putting shit together and like fixing stuff. And I was like putting a piece of furniture together, and yeah, you remember it?
Yeah.
I was like putting a piece of furniture together, and I was like, it's actually way simpler. Like I was showing him like tools. I'm like, it's so much easier than you like actually think it is. It seems complicated, but it's not. And I was using an electric drill.
Yeah.
And I was like screwing in a screw. And he's like, dude, that's so cool. They should make like a manual one of those. And I was like, I like laughed at him and he was like, what? And then I was like, you mean a screwdriver? And he's like, oh my God.
That's so funny.
It was so beautiful.
Oh man. They should make like classic ones, you know, like an analog.
Make an acoustic
Yeah,
one.
that was my
acoustic.
Oh, but like when I tell you I'm not handy, like I'm not handy.
Yeah.
Like Allie like eclipses me on that sort of stuff. Do you remember when we moved and I bought that dresser and it got delivered and it took me?
Oh yes.
I think I'd started it, and then like in that time we had like multiple conversations. Rylan came over,
Yeah.
and I was just in the kitchen like.
I know, taking up the entire, because our apartment's really small, so it's like if you have to put together furniture, you have to move a bunch of furniture out of the way.
Yeah.
And
it's taken me a long time to put a dresser
I think
together
you were getting
before.
dinner with Rylan and
Odea, probably.
And like in that time, it was just me and Ali. I started it. We had conversations. You had dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Rylan and Odea came over. You guys went to the roof, came back, and I was still just going at it.
But also, I will say, putting a dresser together is exceptionally difficult because you have to put together 6 drawers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like other things, you just have to put legs on or whatever.
That stuff takes me
but it's just
forever.
like a lot of things.
Man,
you know?
I just feel like it shouldn't have taken. It was like legitimately like 4.5 hours, and I think that's too long.
Yeah,
it was too long.
I mean, yes.
Well, I'm gonna send you a picture of this like little dresser I put together a long time ago when I first moved into my place. And it took me, I don't know if it took 4 hours, but it felt like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple. It's just drawers. There's wheels on the bottom. That part was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed the directions. It has never really been fully together. I'll take a picture of it. It's just in my closet. The drawers are out and they are not together. But it's in a closet, so I don't like care.
So you just gave up. You were just like, this is good enough.
No, it looked fine, but then once I used it, it fell apart.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's just in there it looks all
fucked up.
scrambled.
Oh, so you completed it. When you completed it, you were like, it's This
It
is
was
proper
done.
and
Yeah,
it's done.
I used
Okay.
everything.
Yeah,
but when I
right.
pull the drawers out, the bottom of the drawer goes backwards. So then there's a gap in front and stuff falls.
Man,
I'm using this every morning.
I'll come over. I'll come over and I'll fix it for you.
Man, I forgot the that manual screw, the manual drill.
That's so
I think about it like every day.
It was so didn't I? Wasn't there another something I said not long after that? That was like along the same lines.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it was that like a drawer was open and a cupboard was open, and you couldn't see that the drawer being open kept the cupboard from shutting. And it was that same feeling, but it's much harder to describe.
Yeah.
But it was just like you trying to shut a cabinet for like a really long time and not realizing that like the drawer was in the way or like
That's so
vice
funny.
versa.
And you would have just been like on the couch while I'm.
Yeah, and you're like, oh God.
You're on the couch, just like, interesting.
And I'm like, should I help him or should I let him learn?
This isn't along the same lines, but I remember her telling a story about when you first moved in and you came out and you were like, by the way, Allie,
Yeah.
because James always wears hats. He was like, by the way, you're going to see me bald sometimes.
When we move in together, you're going to be seeing me bald a lot.
Did I say that?
I hope it's okay
You
we
said that
revealed that on the
before we
pod.
moved in, by the way. You said that like while we were going to look at apartments together. You were like, by the way, like, you're going to be seeing me bald a lot. I hope that's
That is
okay.
so
And I'm like,
ridiculous.
obviously, that's totally
I can
fine,
wear a
dude.
shower cap around.
Imagine if you were
expect-
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I'm like, you're bald?
Oh, yeah, damn, that hurts me so much. No, because I just within me, like my insecurity around my baldness is just something that just annoys me so much. I try so hard to like grow in every like aspect of my life, and I'm like doing an okay job of it, but the baldness is still just one thing.
Yeah.
That is and like even these days I'll release clips and stuff like that when I'm bald, but like I hate doing it. But I'm just like, it's like that. What's it called? Like exposure therapy. It's something that I don't like the idea of releasing a clip where I'm like not wearing a hat, but I'm like, the more I do it, the more okay I'll become with it.
Yeah.
Funny little story on baldness. Do you remember this story how, because our apartment building packages get stolen all the time.
Yeah.
So I've been like shaving my head for a while, but like in like the last couple of years, I've been like, let me properly like take care of it. And like, so I like use a special shampoo for bald men. And I ordered it. It came. I use it. It's like fantastic. And so then I needed to re-up.
Yeah.
And it came, got stolen as they always do. So then I had to like, and that took like 5 or so days. So then it got stolen. So I still didn't have it. Reordered it.
Yeah.
Waited like another 5 days or so. It came, got the notification that it had been delivered. And then the guy had taken a photo of him, like he had delivered it. But the photo was in our apartment number in a different building.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So then I'd wasted two lots of money on that. So then I had to order it a third time and it eventually came. But all I could think was like, this shouldn't happen to me for this. Because like the shitty card that I've been dealt is the fact that I'm bald.
Yeah.
You can't then add on the
Extra stress
men's
over
the
baldness.
bald men's shampoo not being delivered properly
Yeah.
or getting stolen.
Dude, also the guy who stole your shampoo is like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they made
No, me
shampoo
either.
for bald guys.
What does it do?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
What's special about it?
Does it make your head
I think it's just
soft?
it just makes it like not dry and like
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
like,
Okay.
like specifically like for dandruff in bald men and stuff like that.
Gotcha,
Yeah, imagine if it was just another guy in the same situation as me. It's like, I've actually been meaning to get on top of this.
Everybody in our
That's what
apartment
he's
building.
stealing for.
Yeah.
He's waiting for that.
You're waiting for the one guy in our apartment building who's bald also
Yeah.
to like be like, oh, what kind of products are you using?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Smells
I've
a
been
lot like this one.
I've been scoping out bald men in our apartment building for 6 months.
I got my contact lenses stolen once, and it was a bunch. It was like 6
and they're
months supply.
so expensive.
They're so expensive.
You're like heavily reliant on them.
I'm
aren't you?
very reliant on them, and I was pretty mad. It was also when I was a lot younger, so it was like very expensive. Lost them all. And I'm like, what are they doing with those?
What are you gonna fucking do
If you put
with
my
that?
contacts in, you're gonna be nauseous.
Yes,
It's gonna be awful
Yeah.
for anybody.
You're gonna get vertigo.
Yeah.
God, yeah. When people like one time, Betty's like heartworm medication got stolen, and I was like, "What the fuck are you gonna do with that, bro?" I guess you can sell it. Like heartworm medication, you can sell because it is expensive.
That's
but like,
a niche thing, though.
I know,
feel
yeah.
like.
Also, I don't know if who's going on like Craigslist or like Facebook Marketplace to get Simparica Trio.
Unless they're just flogging it off in the streets.
I know.
You know, like yelling it out.
Yeah, I know, like a newsboy.
Yeah, like dog's heartworm medication, $5.
Simparica Trio for dogs between 45 and 55 pounds. 6 months supply. Heartworm, flea, and tick preventative.
Yeah. Ma'am.
Oh, God. Do you have a stupid story for us?
I think I've got a couple.
Let's do it. Let's do it up.
I was thinking about it today, and this is going to sound so, pardon the pun, shitty, but my brain just went immediately to shitting my pants stories.
Of course,
yeah,
we
we
love
like
those.
those.
We're a huge fan of this.
And I did float that to Ali, and she was like, "This is what we talk about all the time."
You know why we like
Every
these so
episode
much?
is about vomit.
Yeah. I think we like the shitting your pants one a lot because neither of us have really done it.
Yeah.
So we get to
Neither
live
of you have shat your
vicariously.
pants.
Never
like,
shat
as
my
an adult.
pants.
not really.
No,
The line
I don't
we
even
have
think I did
is,
as a
There's
kid.
been a color. Right, Allie? Don't just leave me.
Don't say, I'm sorry. I've never heard you say that.
Yeah,
Do
Yeah,
not
yeah, we talked about this a bunch.
do not say that we say that.
Yeah.
If I do not remember,
Actually, I think this was at our
I-
Thanksgiving conversation.
I was
there's been a color.
Maybe like a color.
I was looking directly at you when you said that, and like 1 second went by where I was in my head. I was just like, Ali knows what she's talking about. They're going to do it. This is going to be, and then like 1 second went by, and I realized in my head I just went,
fucking
she
idea
hasn't
what
heard this. This is crazy.
Man, all my friends were just merging together, I guess.
Well, you talk about shit with all of them,
Yeah.
so I understand how it gets all mixed up.
One time there was a color. That is so fucking funny.
Well, I don't even think one time. I just was trying to. Everyone was like, "What? You've never shit your pants?" And I don't think I have. But I was like, there might have been a color. You know?
There might have been a
I
color.
just really mean. What do you call it?
Sharding?
No.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You know when there's just like a
skid
little
mark?
Skid mark.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
My family
Just like a
friend.
crayon. It's like nothing. you know?
Yeah, nobody's saying it's a
did you
big
say?
deal,
Okay,
Brittany.
a crayon
Like a-
makes it sound thicker than the first version, but
Did you say like a crayon?
crayon, yeah.
How are you saying that?
Crayon.
Crayon.
I'm saying it different
Crayon.
every
How do
time
you
now
say it?
'cause I'm nervous.
I say crayon.
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 Some people say crayon, and I don't know why.
I thought I said crayon.
No, you said crayon.
I think
Oh, no,
I said it
you're
in
saying
4 different
crayon.
ways just now.
Yeah, you did say it
because
different
I
every
was
time.
being scrutinized.
Dude,
Anyway.
speaking of skid marks, I have one thing
Okay.
to say about skid marks. My family friend Chelsea Hammond, who you met in Boston, I would go over to their house, and when I was a kid, and they had these like pre-cooked, they were like frozen pre-cooked chicken breasts that had grill marks on them, and they were like grilled chicken, like, and all you had to do was like heat them up, right? And like they would call them skid marks because of the grill marks on them, and they were like, "How many skid marks do you want?"
No.
It was
Not on you
so
can't
funny.
call something you're about to eat.
Skid marks.
marks.
And it was just so normal in their family. And I
yeah.
didn't know what skid mark meant. So then I was like, why are they called skid marks? And they're like, there's a little skid mark on it, right? And I'm like, yeah, but like from like a car? And they were like, no, you know when you shit your pants a little bit and there's a color or whatever they said. And I was like, I'm the chicken, bro. It was so funny.
It would have been so much better if they said, yeah, from a car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. They should have connected the dots
Yeah.
that I didn't know what that was, and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's from a car.
Should have let you use it later that day.
There isn't chicken.
Instead, they're like,
In the
no, it's
wrong
from
context.
the shit.
It's from when you shit your
Yeah.
pants a little
Yeah.
bit
And
during
it's
the
on the
day.
chicken.
You know when you don't wipe all the way?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Anyway, let's go. Let's
Anyway.
get into your shit story.
Anyway, James's shit story.
Well, it just makes me. Yeah.
Better be more than a color, too.
Yeah. Oh, no, it is.
Okay.
James's shit story just makes me feel just inadequate as like a storyteller. Like I've come here.
Like,
Yeah.
also, like, that's what you would title it if you were like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
James's first shit story.
Yeah, if you were writing an essay.
Yeah.
I feel like a failure. Like I haven't been able to come up with something else
No.
or think of something else.
No.
I feel like when you have a guest, like before you start recording, you tell them, and if you can't think of anything, just tell
Just
us
a
about the
shit
time you
story.
shit your pants.
Honestly,
And that's what I've had to resort to because I couldn't think of anything.
honestly, we should put that in the
That's so
paragraph
funny,
that we
yeah.
send people
Yeah.
when they come on the show.
Yeah.
If you can't think of anything, just tell a short
Yeah.
story where you shit your pants.
Or a
Yeah,
vomit
and then-
story.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
And then just link them to me. Like this dumbass couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
And here's
You
his
are
shitting his pants.
not
story.
even the first person to talk about shitting their pants.
We've had at least
Courtney
3.
McGinnis just talked about shitting
Yeah.
her pants on this episode.
Oh,
or on
great.
this podcast, sorry.
She's hilarious. So that
She's
makes
fucking
me-
Ooh,
great.
we should
yeah.
get a compilation of shit
stories,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, you have no idea how much I racked my brain. I
Well,
walked.
you said you came up with 3 stories. Are they all shit stories?
I think 2 of them are. One involves another person. It's actually not crazy funny. It's just absurd. But I was like walking to the cafe today, sat and had a coffee, and the whole walk I was just like, it can't be a shit story. Can't be a shit story. And on the walk back, I'm like, you still haven't thought of something. Can't be a shit story.
Man,
Yeah.
you're really attacking yourself mentally there, huh?
Yeah, well, I blame
For
you.
the shit story.
I blame you guys, you know.
What the hell?
I've had a bad day.
All right.
No, it is a good story, I think.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I used-
Any shit story is good, I think.
I agree with that. I used to live with 4 other people, and so it was like, what is it called, like a duplex or something? There's like a couple of levels, and so I was in like one room here, and there was another guy here, and then directly above was like same layout, another guy here, another
Yeah.
guy here, and then over here, this person, Julie, had her own room and ensuite. She had her own bathroom. Kitchen was like here. But me and this guy, we shared a bathroom here, and then these guys up here shared a bathroom. And we're all friends, all got along really well,
Yeah.
all comfortable with each other. And I was like in the, I don't think I knew it at the time, but I was like in the depths of like a pretty bad binge drinking problem, was doing like a lot of drugs as well. That just stemmed from the drinking and all that.
Yeah.
So just had no control over like anything in my life. And I had this mate that was going through a divorce, and he knew like he had no control and I had no control. And I think he knew that if he was to text me, I would go meet him for a drink and you know,
Yeah.
some other stuff as well. And then one night, sure enough, I it's like late at night. He's like, "Come meet me," and I'm like, "All right, no worries." So I met him. We had a big night, like I don't know, like all hours. And this is like way back. So I was like working in a restaurant at the time, and I was doing like the dinner shift. So I had to be in like I think at like 3 p.m. or something like that. And we had such a big night, and I was just so hungover the next day. And like coming home from that big night, I'd eaten like I used to just go to town on like Philly cheesesteaks or
Oh,
like
yeah.
chopped cheese or like,
yeah, dude.
and I used to just dump hot sauce on everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot more about my body these days. I just have a base level of care about my own well-being these days.
You're making those grocery lists,
Yeah,
etc.
exactly. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
drinking water.
Chicken, cucumber, yeah. And and I just didn't care back in the
Yeah.
So, you know, and I don't know what I ate, but it would have been something along those lines. And I would have woken up around midday or something like that. So it wasn't long till I started to having to get ready for work.
Yeah.
But then I felt my stomach turning. And so I'm sort of like, you know, starting to get ready for work. I feel my stomach turning. So I'm like, well, I've got to have a shower before work and like clean myself up. So I think this is a pretty common trick, but like my roommate was out in the living room on the couch with a friend that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and the couch was like not far from where me and this other guy's bathroom was.
Mm.
So I just did this trick. It's probably a common trick. Well, you may do it. Like I just ran the shower
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
then shat.
and then shat
Yeah, of course.
and then cleaned up and then had a shower.
Yeah.
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 And that just makes sense.
Mhm.
And that was great. Brushed my teeth and all that, whatever. Went into
He's feeling good.
went into my room. Yeah, quick hello to the roommate and her friend. Went into the room, got changed, and I've probably got like 5 minutes to leave
Yeah.
to know that I'm going to be able to get on a bike and ride to work and be to work on time.
Mhm.
And then I go, oh my God, my stomach's turning again. And, but my brain starts going, my mind starts going, but you've already done the shower trick and you've already had a shower. And then I go, but they're right there. They're on the couch. So they're going to know. So you can't do the shower trick again. So what are you going to do? And like,
They're definitely gonna know if it comes out any other way.
like at the time I was like I'm a bit better these days. Like I'll like,
Yeah.
you know, I still run water.
yeah.
Yeah.
but
I do
it
that
might-
too.
Yeah, but it might just be the tap these days, not the whole shower. But like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I can't do the shower thing. And I was like, I was such like an insecure person. I wasn't that comfortable with myself those days. So I'm
Yeah.
like, there's just no way I'm stepping into that bathroom and just like blowing it up
Yeah.
and having them like hear,
Yeah,
smell,
yeah.
all that. Like, so I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Turns out that I was thinking about it for so long that I just had no choice but to like just shit my pants in my
room?
in my room. Yeah.
Something about just standing in your room shitting your pants
know.
makes it so much worse.
Because you're like stuck thinking
Because
about
you're not
how
even
you're gonna
you're not
shit.
even trying to get somewhere. You're just standing there and then
Yeah.
you just poop.
Yeah. Yeah, like it would almost be better if it was like on the street
It would
and
have
it
been
was
better
like
if you were-
embarrassing
yeah.
in front
Yeah.
of people.
You were
Yeah,
rushing
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah,
You
or
were trying.
just made it, or like
But you're
something
just
like
in
that.
your room thinking about it.
And you're not wrong. Like it ruined me, like mentally. Like I was
Oh my
literally
God.
just standing there.
Yeah.
So my brain was going, oh, they're on the couch. I can't do the shower thing. I've already done the shower thing. But there's no way I'm going in there and blowing it up. I'll die before I have them hear me do it. Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm going, oh my God, it's coming. So, and then do you know that meme of that kid that's just like
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
veins
yeah.
are popping
Yeah.
out of his head? I was standing in my room just like that.
Oh no.
And I was shaking and sweating.
Yeah, you're like a little baby who stops crying and just makes a face. and
Correct.
then-
Yeah. That's exactly
done.
Yeah.
exactly what I was like. Standing there, and you know, like it took a little, like it didn't happen
Yeah.
in seconds. Like,
Yeah.
So time stopped for me. Yeah. And like it was, yeah. You know how like they say when you die, it's like life.
Yes.
Like, it was just like that. It was just like, how have you gotten to this point? Like how. I can't. I would have been like late 20s at the time or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're an adult, like you have a job, you have a family, like you have a brother,
Yeah.
you have a dad, you have friends, you have adult friends that you have conversations with about like deep stuff.
And here you are in your
And
bedroom
here I
shitting
am,
your
like
pants.
shit currently leaving my ass
Yeah.
and trickling down my leg.
Oh my God.
And so then you had to go shower.
Yeah. Then you have to. What?
No. Well, I can't do this.
I can't. There's
I
no.
couldn't do the shower.
no
You
thing.
way,
can't do
I
the
guess.
shower a second time, even if you shit your pants in
Oh
the bedroom.
man.
Can't do the shower thing. I've told you, I
took
can't
your
do the
pants
shower.
off. You took everything off though,
See,
right?
you know what? I've actually
Put it
never.
in the garbage.
I've actually never thought of this. You've actually just made me think of it because
Well, it's gonna be some good advice.
A list. You have to make a list of what happens after you shit your pants.
So if you shit your pants and you've already done the shower thing, can't do it again. Well, I never thought about it because at no point did my brain go have a shower.
What?
And
God,
then at no point, because I didn't think that, at no point did I go, but you've already done the shower thing.
Oh.
So that logic was only applied beforehand.
Is it because you were in a rush?
I had to get to work.
Ah, okay.
You can be half an hour late
I
because
think
you shit your
can
pants.
text and be like, I'm running behind.
Well,
For-
No, well, see, the thing is, at that point in my life, and this is just going to make me out to seem just like an absolute idiot even more.
That's
At
okay.
that point in my life, I did have I had like a bad drinking problem, and I was late to work often. To the point where I was just like lucky that I held employment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that like I couldn't. You know how some people like they have runs on the board, so when they're late, you go, well, I know you're not often late, and I believe what you're saying.
Yeah,
so if I had sent that text,
Gotcha.
I was someone that had not only did I not have runs on the board, I had like minus runs on the board.
Yeah.
So if I was to shoot that text, people were like, he's just talking shit.
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
he's probably just a lazy guy. Like he's probably, so it wouldn't have meant anything anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
Better to show up smelling like shit. Than
That's right.
than
Also,
to be
James,
like
I'm
20
going to
minutes
say
late.
it. Showing up with shit in your pants, that's a DOH violation, all right?
what are you talking about?
You can't be showing up to if you're a fucking restaurant job with
Yeah, yeah.
shit in your
Yeah.
pants. Come on.
I've sat my test and it's actually not.
They didn't say anything
don't
about
put
having
that
a
on the
deuce in
test.
there.
Wasn't on the test.
Honestly, all the servers I know, if it was against the rules to have like a tiny bit of shit in your pants, nobody would be employed. Nobody would be employed. The way that these fucking servers live, bro.
So you're saying that everyone you worked with in bars and restaurants
No.
were just walking around with like skin marks or colors in their underwear?
I'm not saying everybody I worked with. I'm talking about every person who is currently employed as a server in the U.S.
Everyone in the hospitality service industry
I'll put all my money on
currently
it.
has skin
Has
marks.
a little bit of shit in their pants.
Has a little bit of
at
shit in their
least.
pants. You know what? I agree with it.
So no shower, you go right to work.
Oh my god, let's get back into
Well,
this.
I'm standing there and it happens, and I think like I could see some coming out.
Yeah.
At the bottom of I think I had like cargos on or something, like pants. I think it was cold, and I go. So I had to think on my feet, and I those situations where you got to think on your feet. So I was like, what do I do? So I just showering. Well, yeah, it didn't even cost me. So I just took my pants off.
Okay, good.
Well, yeah.
Well, after not showering, I'm like, I don't know what
So when I
he
said I
did.
didn't shower,
happen.
you just thought I was just gonna go to work.
I was like, I don't know what he would
Yeah.
think if he didn't think to shower.
That's so. God, that would have been disgusting. No, so I took my pants off, took my underwear off. In my closet, I had like a backup, 3 towels or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I just said, you're gonna clean yourself up, and all this stuff goes in the bin afterwards. So I think I used like 1 or 2 of those towels, just fully like clean myself up. I think I remember I think I had like a water bottle or something in the room, so I
Okay.
like dabbed the towel,
Gotcha.
and, like, wiped
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And then like found just like a plastic bag. Oh no, I think I found a legit backpack or something like that. And everything just went in there.
Whoa.
And like it stunk. Like
Yeah.
my room just stunk like shit. And then which makes me wonder like if my roommate and her friend was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
this smell?
It makes sense if the bathroom smells like shit. Doesn't make sense if
Yeah,
your
yeah,
bedroom
yeah.
smells like
No.
shit.
I wonder if in there it's like, you already did the shower thing.
Yeah.
And that was like 10 minutes ago. Now it stinks. But it's coming from his room. So I
Because
just,
they're thinking about the shower thing the same way you are.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
You
he can't
can't do
take a
that
second
twice.
shower.
Well, that's how
Then
my
they'll know
fucking
I
that's
shit
how
my
my
pants.
brain works. That's why I'm so scared to do anything.
You got one chance for everything.
Like, imagine a life if I just went, well, I'm not going to shit my pants. I know I've already done the shower thing. I'll just go do it again. And they can just think what they think.
Yeah.
That's how a normal
So
person.
if you change your pants, you clean yourself up, you shit yourself again, you go, I already did the pants thing. I can't do this again.
I guess I'm going to work with a deuce in there.
yeah. Or just no pants on.
Yeah.
That's funny if there was a third.
Pooh Bear on your way to
If there was
work.
a third time.
If there was a third time, that'd be so funny.
And but that's how I see it. In my head, they're on the couch going, he's already done the shower thing.
Yeah, totally.
In my head, they know that I'm shitting my pants.
They know
Yeah, yeah,
exactly
In
what's
my head, they're
happening.
like, well, he can't do it again. Guess he's just going to shit his pants in his room. So I bagged it all up in the backpack or whatever it was, and put on new underwear, new pants, and shoes. And I just walked out of my room and just waved to my room. I was like, "Have a good day. Nice to meet you," to her friend. And then just walked out, got downstairs, like elevated downstairs, and then just the first trash can I saw on the street, just dumped it all in there.
When you left,
and deep, I like made sure it was in.
Yeah.
When you left your apartment and said goodbye, were you like, "I'm a good actor"?
Yeah, there was a little part of me that was like, they don't know a thing. Because I gauged their response.
Yeah.
They weren't like.
Yeah.
They were like, "See ya, have a good day, have a good shift."
Nice
Did you have to
meeting
close
you.
your door real fast too? You like snuck out, like
made
you're
sure
trying not to let a cat out.
Yeah. I made sure the door was closed. And the craziest thing, so then I biked, I biked to work. The craziest thing was at the time, I was sort of seeing someone that I was working with, and she was on that shift as well.
Oh no!
So it was just like me and her, and she was there already. She had like this earlier start or whatever. And so I get there, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on? How are you? How's your day been?" I'm like, "Pretty." I just said, "Pretty good." Yeah, didn't do. She's like, "What'd you get up to?" I'm like, "Not much." Yeah, how are you? And then I just went about my day. I went about my shift.
Did you stand far away from her? Were you like,
No, like I cleaned it up.
you
good.
couldn't smell it? I feel like
it was
small.
all everything was clean.
I don't know if I have a good nose or what, but I feel like if there's a small amount, it's
apparent. Yeah.
So you're telling me that like you're out here, and if you can tell, like if Ali shat her pants 6 hours ago,
I feel like I might get a whiff of it if she moved around me. Maybe not just sitting.
Well,
If
no.
you're stationary, then it's probably fine. But
Yeah. But if you're like getting airflow through and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm.
I get whiffs. Not of you, just in general.
Are we talking
They're
about?
always sent to me.
Are you saying that I smell like shit a little tiny bit all the time?
I feel like I pick up on
Shit smell?
bad smells really quickly.
Yeah. I think that's how most people are,
Well,
to be honest.
But
You're like, I really notice bad smells.
if I just wiped shit all over myself and rushed out the door, I'd be smelling it all day.
Me too, yeah. Even if it was like a placebo effect.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd at least think I was.
I'm just like, fuck. Did I just smell like shit?
Well, did she keep seeing you after that?
I mean, we didn't like date around for long in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't stop like that day.
If she fucked
You're
you
probably
one
fine.
time after that, then you probably didn't smell like shit.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
you're
didn't
good.
So
smell like
Yeah.
you were probably fine, yeah.
You're fine.
I remember
Sorry.
having a conversation with her at the time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up like new
Now you're
nerves
like-
So
about
now
it.
I'm like,
You thought you
if she-
processed it all, and there's this part.
Imagine it, she's on a podcast, someone going, and he smelled like shit. Like, let me tell you. I remember it being a fine shift.
He just stood in his room
Yeah.
shitting.
Yeah.
He'd already done the shower
He-
like she knows all as well.
Yeah. Well, I never told him, so she could just be like, he never said it, but I guarantee he shat himself earlier that day. That's the thing.
You know a woman's intuition.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't think I told anyone for like a long time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The mate who I was with the night before, I think I messaged him. I think I was like, how'd you end up? Because I just shat myself.
Man.
And he was like, that's hilarious. I'm like, is it?
Yeah. You're like, actually, it's not that fucking funny to me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
out a backpack, a pair of underwear, and a pair of
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
Man.
And 2 towels.
Oh,
Like,
man.
let me tell you, that was not a concern at all. Like,
Totally. You just
like
got
usually
yeah.
I'd hate throwing something away, but like
Yeah.
in that moment, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to throw these awesome cargo pants that I really like and this backpack that I really like
Yeah.
out. And in my head, I was like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Totally.
There's no other. Like,
Yeah.
oh well.
I know. What are you going to do? Take it to the laundromat?
Yeah.
Oh, my
I
God.
vomited on a friend's jacket one time in public. It was awful.
What?
And then she,
Wait, how did you vomit? Like you were
I
sick
just
or?
was really drunk and I vomited.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I was normal and I was talking and then I just went and I vomited on the ground real fast. and it got all over her jacket, and it was in front of a ton of people. It was like a big outdoor bar. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you got on your jacket." And she's like, "You can have it." Like, it was like clearly, even if it was washed, she's like, "I'm never going to wear that again."
You can have it.
You're like, well, I don't want it either, but
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I ever wore it again.
Imagine if you were like, "Oh, cool, free jacket," and then you were like, "This is how you get free clothes." You throw up on people and they give you their clothes because they don't want them anymore because there's throw up on it. Do you have another stupid story for us? Because we got time.
yeah.
We got time,
if
buddy.
you want.
If you'd like.
I like these shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice.
They've recently just become my favorite pair. that I own.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's funny. It's a little sad, to be honest.
That's fine. We talk about sad shit on this pod all the time.
But it is a little bit funny. This was way back as well. Just also, I feel like I just used to be like, as I prefaced with my last story, I used to be like have such a lack of control over my own life because of like alcohol abuse that it just led to some good stories.
Yeah. I mean, everybody on this pod who's sober
Definitely.
has the best stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I just never knew that I will one day go on to share those stories on this day. I was out one night with a friend, and we were this was way back as well when I was working in restaurants as well, and I was out with a friend, and we had a late night, and I think like I used to just black out. So I used to get to the point where like I'm just sort of guessing what happened. I think I obviously went to Remedy Diner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that in like Lower East Side?
No.
It's just like a 24-hour diner, and I used to go there a bit, and I was in the Lower East Side, and me and my mate had parted ways, and I guess my plan was to go home, and I must have been at Remedy Diner, and I have a faint memory of like closing out the check and then leaving. But then the next thing I remember was I was getting kicked awake by some stranger, and it was daylight. So he's kicking me awake, and I wake up and look up, and he goes, "Dude, you've got to get up. Some guy just stole your cap."
Oh man.
And it was my I had this like awesome like North Face running cap at the time, and it was that cap, and I was like, immediately I was like, damn.
And you gotta be bald out in the world.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the thing. So
was the guy who helped you bald?
Hey?
Was the guy who helped you bald?
Imagine.
I can't remember what he looked like.
He was like one bald guy to another.
Yeah.
You just got your hat taken. Sorry, buddy.
He was like, dude, you've got to get up. You're exposed.
Nobody can know.
Don't let him get us. It's you and me.
He's like, I have an extra one just in case. I always carry an extra one.
Like a lady giving another lady a tampon.
Yeah.
Yeah, take the shampoo as well. And he goes, yeah, so I get up. I'm like, what'd you say? And he's like, he goes, some guy just took your cap off you. And I was like, oh, fuck, and I was like, oh, thanks. And, thanks. And he's like, yeah, just be careful out here. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, he literally said that. He's like, no one gives a fuck out here, man. You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Pretty much just saying there's like some dangerous people out, look after yourself. And and obviously he's right. But the sun was well and truly up, right?
Yeah.
And it was a Friday going into a Saturday. So it was Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be at work at 8 a.m.
Oh, no.
So I was like, holy shit, what time is it?
Yeah.
I got to check my phone. My phone's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, am I like late to work? I don't have time to go. The sun's up. If the sun's up,
yeah,
I don't have time to go to Brooklyn and then back. And I've already, I already had that history of being late. So I'm like, I've got to be on time. So I just start walking down Houston because Remedy's on Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And I start walking down, and I find like I eventually get to a CVS, and on the CVS it said open, like it had their opening hours, and on the Saturday it had open 7:30, and they weren't open. So I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm within walking distance.
Dude, you're like
from
Nancy
my work.
Drew.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I just did the math. I was like, so I'm like walking distance from work. These guys aren't open yet. It must be before 7:30. So then I just like sat down out the front and just started like sort of sleeping against the wall. So, which was sort of in regards to making work on time was like a dangerous thing to do because my phone's there. I didn't and then I just woke up at another point and they were open. And it was just like 20, it was like, I don't know, it was like 20 to 8 or something like that. And
you were sitting in front, they're walking by you opening the store?
Well, I don't know if they saw me or whatever. Like I was just sort of off to the side against like a wall. Okay. And then I walk in.
Maybe they thought you were meditating. Yeah, James, he's late a lot. He meditates.
That's definitely what people who have their eyes closed on the Lower East Side are doing.
Yeah. And I walk in and there's no one in there. They've just opened. So there's like some staff member walking around the store and like 2 cashiers or something like that. I walk in and they're just like, who the fuck is this guy? Because I like look disheveled.
Yeah.
Got no hat on, you know?
Yeah, and they're like, what the fuck is this bald guy trying to do without his hat on in here? Inappropriate.
Yeah. I feel like that's what people think. They're like, this guy's meant to be wearing a hat. And the fact that he's not, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's the look they gave me.
Yeah.
I probably also reeked of alcohol and like looked like I hadn't slept. I probably looked like I woke up on Houston Street.
Yes.
Because I fucking did. Like that's what it was. So I walk in and they're like, can we help you? And I'm just like, do you sell hats? And the guy goes, yeah. He's like, they're over there. And I walk over and there was this like real
You sell hats.
Yeah, because that's why I was at the CVS. I don't think I said that. I was at the I was at the front of the CVS because I'm like, I want to see if they sell hats. There's just no way I'm working without a hat on. There's no way I'm working a Saturday shift.
You slept on the street, were hungover, almost late to work, and just like probably still a little bit drunk from the night before, and you're like, I have to get a hat.
Yeah. That was like number one priority.
Yeah. And so you took a nap outside until the CVS opened. So
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, they're over there. And I go, and there's this awesome pink cap with a white, like it looked, like Converse.
Yeah.
It's baffling that it isn't a Converse hat to me because it's like exactly that. It was like a pink cap, like a washed pink cap with a white star, one star on it in the middle. And you may have seen it. I still wear it sometimes.
Oh shit.
And I bought it. It was like $10. I'm like, this is a huge win for me. I'm having a great day. So I bought it. I walked to work. I was like 10 minutes early, and walked to work. And everyone's like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, pretty good."
And everyone's like, "I love your hat."
No, literally, there was this girl there. I think her name was Laura. Yeah. And she was like newish, and she literally said, "Oh my God, I love your hat. Is that new?" And I go, "Yeah, it's very new." And she goes, "Oh, like when did you get it?" I was just like, "Oh, the other day." And then I hosted hosted the restaurant that day.
Man,
for 8 hours.
Man.
Yeah.
God, that's so fucking insane,
I
bro.
can't believe you could function like that.
I know.
All.
Yeah, it's still to this day. Still to this day, I wear the cap. Yeah.
Wow. I love how the end of both of these stories is you walk into work and they're like, "How are you?" And you're like,
really good.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
After the most horrific thing I've ever heard in my entire life, both times.
I didn't realize that they both ended that way.
Yeah, and you walk into work and they're like, "How are you?" And you're like, "Pretty good."
And you're like, I didn't tell anyone. I texted my friend. I'm like, "Hey, how'd you fare?" Yeah. "Well, I got a hat."
Yeah.
Which is like bad in this context.
Yeah.
I can't believe he took your hat and he didn't take your phone or wallet.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it was a good North Face cap. You probably rated
the easiest nice thing to get.
That's true.
It's funny that the same girl that was like, "Oh my God, nice hat." I remember we were having like a staff drinks one day and she was like, "Are you going?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't think I'll go," or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, like, do you drink?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't drink." And she was like, "Why don't you drink?" And I think my answer was just like, oh, it's a long story.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Also,
But
a weird
I-
thing to ask someone, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange thing.
I
to-
don't mind that sort of stuff, but yeah, I get it. Like, but now looking back, I'm like, imagine if I went, well, you know, the hat. That exact story is why I don't drink.
Well, do you remember the hat? And she's
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah.
And in your mind, you were like, she definitely remembers this
Yeah.
hat and how important it was to me.
Yeah. Crazy that she doesn't think about me that often.
She knew that I already did the shower thing. And so I had to get a new hat.
Yeah.
Man, I like the idea of the hat, like in your apartment, like in your room. And it's a symbol of you changing your life around. So it's
Yeah.
like in a special place. And when you leave for work, that's the last thing you look at. And you like nod. Give it a nod.
Yeah.
Just a big hat with a
Oh,
star.
well, when I got sober, I like contemplated, like, still to this day, like, you know, photos or something will arise,
Yeah.
and like, and you know, it's from a night that like I had no control. I was like blackout. I don't even remember. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like looking at stuff like that, and be like, should I throw this shit out?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, no, well, not. Yes, it is a sign of like, a darkish time where
Mhm.
but it's also a sign of coming out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So now it's just in rotation.
Yeah.
As like one of the, like, obviously I'm always wearing caps, but like it's
Well, not
one of like
all the time.
Yeah.
I am his roommate, and I see him bald pretty often.
Does he
And
act
it
different
is
when he's
off-putting,
bald?
but I don't say anything about it.
Is he like more skittish when he doesn't have a hat on?
Yeah, he's always zipping from his bathroom to his bedroom.
And our apartment's tiny. It's like, imagine if I was
Yeah.
just running.
Yeah. I know. Like a scared cat.
Yeah.
Like a cockroach just skittering through the fucking. He's like, sorry.
It is funny to think, like, imagine if I was just a totally different person.
Yeah.
Like that message when I told you before we moved in, I was like, hey, by the way, you're going to see me bald. Imagine if I was just like, and I'm totally different.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
Like you have no emotions when you don't have your hat
or
on.
I'm
Yeah.
like, hey James, I like knock on your door. I'm like, can I borrow a few eggs? And I open the door and you're just like crouched naked like Gollum eating a raw fish.
Yeah.
And you're like, let me put my hat on.
Put my hat
put
on,
it
like, hey,
on?
what's up?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, you need 2 eggs? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
By the way, I bought toilet paper for the whole apartment.
Yeah.
So. You're just a good guy.
Yeah.